Hi everybody, welcome back to my YouTube channel. Oh my god, I got wires stuck on my feet. Hi everybody, welcome back to my YouTube channel. This is J Bear, the Venting Bear, and as you can see, you know what, we're just gonna keep it moving. So in the previous video I talked about getting started even when you're not ready to get started, and the reason why it was important is because of stuff like that back there. You know, like I didn't want that wire in the shot, but it's in the shot nonetheless. And I'm also trying a new thing with this microphone, which like I like it. You know, I'm having a lot of fun with this microphone here because I don't know, it just makes me feel like more sophisticated when I'm talking to you guys for some reason. So I hope that you guys are enjoying the content so far. You know, I'm really giving you guys all the best that I have in me to make these videos, and I thought it was important to tell you guys about the season of grief, doubt, or fear and how to survive. I wrote this down on a sticky note because, as I mentioned in the previous vlog as well, it's not always about being 100% prepared all the time before you get started doing what you need to do. And November was a very rough month, you know, and I'm sure it was the same way for a lot of people. We had a passing of someone very important to us in the family, someone who meant a lot to someone I care about very much. It was very difficult going through this process to some extent with the person because I'm not there around them all the time, but you don't need to physically be around someone all the time to understand or empathize with what they're going through. I only know how I felt when I was experiencing the things that I went through in 2020, and the people around me who went through things in 2020, the people that I care about very much, a friend of mine that I work with as well. A lot of times during the grieving process, you can trick yourself into believing that you're fine a lot faster than normal. You can convince yourself that you're all alone. You can convince yourself that no one else understands you. And even if you know that people are there and you know that people care and you know that people understand you, there will be moments where grief will completely consume you and put you in a really dark spot. And the only thing that I think is really going to help you get out of that dark spot is knowing who you were before you got into that spot. Your coping mechanisms and your ability to cope with things. And for me, those things were very important and crucial at the moments where I thought that no one else cared, and I was able to trick myself into believing that no one else cared because I was so sad and so lonely during the time. And I just want you guys to know that pushing people away can come with its consequences. And even though I've not experienced this personally, I do know that there are people who can behave in a way that is very inappropriate or very hurtful to other people when they're hurting. Like they say, hurt people. Which, by the way, I read a book called Hurt People. The book was fire. But anyway, hurt people do hurt people. But I want you guys to know that you have to break the cycle as well. You know, you can't just use a saying to justify why it's okay to do certain things to people. And you can't just push people away and lock people out because you feel upset, you know. And I just remember there were times when I didn't want to talk to anyone. And there were times when I would hear people laughing and just enjoying life. And I thought that they'd moved on already from my situation. And it's a really selfish way to be when you look at it in hindsight, but these are just things that grief do to trick you to feel like you're alone. You know, you're going to have to do some spiritual warfare during that process. And if you're not a very spiritual person, you will have to try to come to the realization that life is going to go on. It's hard, you know, not having that person around you in the physical aspect anymore. But you can always remember the impression that they left on you, and you can try to hold on to that to carry you through the days when you don't feel like anything is worth going on. And I just wanted to share that with you guys and eventually go maybe, you know, a little bit deeper into the topic of what I experienced and what I went through when I was grieving, and the depression and the aftermath of what it led to, and how I kind of pivoted out of that season in my life, because I always knew it was a process. I always knew that it was going to pass, and I knew that I was going to get through it because I was eager to. But there were days where I can be honest and say that I felt very hopeless about ever finding happiness again or being happy. And still some days where those moments creep in where I feel like just very sad to not have that person around me in the physical sense, anymore. So it reminds me to take time out in the morning to be grateful for the fact that the people that I love and care about are still waking up. Some are not, and that impact that it's had to the people that I've loved and cared about has always been a humbling but scary reminder that someday we are all going to go. And with that being said, I think that you should be trying to wake up and make the most out of each day. Like before I filmed this vlog, or before I filmed the other one for this week's content batching, I wasn't in the mood to learn. I wasn't in the mood to study. I wasn't in the mood for being creative or being productive. I kind of just wanted to just lay around all week and like sleep. And depression or being sad will make you do that. Will make you very, very tired. But I knew that depression hated a moving target, and so I got moving. I got productive. I got creative. I at least tried to establish some type of daily routine of 5 things a day that I could use to keep me moving when I'm not really feeling motivated to move. And there were some days where I didn't move, and I laid around and I got some sleep, and I had a hot beverage or something that was comforting for me. I like soup and like hot beverages, and just doing what works for you, during those days, and just slowly but surely letting it pass, allowing yourself to feel normal and go through the motions.